The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewing. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
What's up, guys? Jesse, Habit-Based Lifestyle, and I want to welcome you to the Habit-Based Lifestyle and Business Show. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about business. And what I'm going to talk to you today about is a very simple concept, but I think it's also very overlooked when it comes to building an online business, being able to add marketing and that marketing component into your business. But it's really this idea of the two reasons why your content is not connecting to people. Now, if you're tuning into this live, just hashtag live, and we'll make sure you guys watch the replay. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. But I really want to talk about an experience I had yesterday, and that's how I want to start out the show. And it was, I was talking to someone in Messenger, and we were having a conversation, and all of a sudden they sent me a PDF, and the PDF had a bunch of information about what they do, kind of like, you know, the things that they help people with. And it wasn't even really that. It was more like, hey, here's who we are. Here's what we do. And as I looked at the PDF, I thought to myself, man, this looks, it looks like a nice PDF. The problem with the PDF was it had a bunch of information on it. And unless I was in that industry, unless, I knew about what a lot of the things that they were talking about in this PDF, I really had no idea how to connect to the information. I didn't really know what I could do with it. It was just basically saying, here's what I do. And it almost felt like I was supposed to read something in code, and it wasn't very relatable. And that's what I really want to get into today, which is, hey, what are the two reasons why your content is not connecting to people and converting into a customer? Now, there's two sides of this, which, I really believe that if you're leveraging social media today, which hopefully you are, otherwise you might be behind the times. If you're leveraging social media today, one thing that you really want to think about is, is your content information driven, which means, where we're trying to sound smart instead of relatable. And a lot of the clients that I work with come from kind of the health and wellness space, which a lot of times we tend to talk and speak like we're speaking to other people in our industry, almost like we're speaking to other, chiropractors, other doctors in functional medicine, other trainers, other coaches. We're speaking in a language and we're giving out information that only another doctor would understand, or another chiropractor would understand, or another coach would understand, or another trainer or nutrition, coach would understand. And so the first thing in this is stop giving out information, trying to sound smart instead of, being relatable. And what does that mean? That means that I'm not looking for information necessarily online, because there's so much information already out there. It's super confusing and it's super noisy. And, people have been giving out information, we have information overload. And so in that, I'm just getting more overloaded, and kind of like this PDF I got, it was a bunch of information on a page that didn't really connect to me, wasn't really relatable. And, quite frankly, it was kind of like a highlight reel of this person I was talking to. And so as I read it, I was like, okay, that's cool, but it almost felt cold. And that wasn't really what I was looking for in this, conversation I was having with this person. I want you to think about this too in your business, because this may be something where you may be missing out on it, specifically inside your content, where, the content you're putting out, it's great information, but it's not relatable to your ideal client. It's not relatable to the potential customer you may have coming in. And a lot of times, the way we know this is that very few people comment on our stuff, or the people that do comment are people in our own industry, or, no one really pays attention to it, which I find a lot of times people will ask me like, hey, I don't understand why people won't, respond to my content. I'm like, well, if it's information driven, one, it's not probably relatable. Two is you don't give them an opportunity to engage in your content. And you're trying to sound smart versus trying to sound relatable. And in doing that, we miss out on, connecting to the customer. The other one is to teach people what's happening is your content's not connecting because you're trying to teach people instead of connecting to people. And inside of that, we're trying to teach them concepts. We're trying to teach them maybe about nutrition or how to work out, instead of talking to them about something that may connect to them, which may be what is their ideal problem. So it may look like this. Let's say I was trying to teach somebody how to work out versus talk to someone about, what consists of maybe a workout, or what consists. So it's like we're trying to teach the how versus talk about the what, like what is working out, or what things consist of working out, versus trying to teach someone how to actually work out. And so, stage one of marketing is really about what. Here's what, we do. Here's what, working out is. Here's like really simple, like really simplifying what we're doing. And so inside of that, we end up trying to go to teacher mode and teach people, instead of really connecting to people. And the way that I can connect to people is I can ask questions. I can, I can talk about the problems that people that come into me. I can talk about stories. And so stories are relatable. I can ask questions because questions build connections. And so when I connect to people, then that opens up a deeper conversation, which then, at some point or whenever, you could get into a more direct conversation. But I think the biggest thing is don't teach people until, they actually choose to work with you. Then they've invited you in to teach them. And so in the beginning, you want to work on connecting to people. And the cool thing about this is when you start connecting to people, asking questions that build connection, asking questions and really talking to people and connecting with them with the problems that some of your clients come in, really just by telling stories and different things like that, talking about experiences, that builds that connection inside of that relationship. And so no different than, a relationship with your spouse, a relationship with a girlfriend, boyfriend. The number one way, imagine if you went on a date and you started giving them a bunch of information about, how smart you are, or you tried to teach them, that you tried to teach them about you instead of connecting. So we connect by asking questions. We connect by listening more so than teaching. Teaching is our ability to, teach someone a concept or how to do something. Well, that's not really, you're not ready for that at that point in your content. You're ready for that when someone starts paying you. And so no different that if you were dating, someone's not ready for you to teach them until you've made a connection with them on a deeper level. And that's, where you really have to start building up. You build up know, like, and trust by the connection, not by teaching. You build up know, like, and trust by being relatable and hearing stories. Think about it this way: is if I could share a story about myself, about my business, about a client, that's much more relatable than me trying to just give out some information in a form of a PDF or whatever. And so we always want to go to teacher mode, because especially in, kind of the health and wellness industry, because we're trying to get ourselves in front of someone, because that's our area of expertise. And we feel like we're an expert when we teach people. But if you can start building the expertise of connecting with people, being relatable to people, it's much easier to get into, teaching. It's much easier to get into, calls and being able to really help people. And so, like I said, number one way you can start connecting with people and being relatable is, number one, tell stories, about your clients, about people that you work with, people you might help. And then the other side of this is to obviously ask questions. With asking questions, that means you give people an opportunity to talk to you and you get to listen. So asking questions and listening kind of go hand in hand, because even then, sometimes, we ask questions and then we immediately go into teacher mode. And so these are things that are obviously going to help you and start getting your content to really connect to people, getting your content to be relatable to people, and just stop trying to give out information. And so, remind yourself that, hey, am I marketing to my ideal customer, or am I marketing to someone else in the same industry and trying to sound smart? In the process of doing that, I'm not relatable to my client. And those are some of the two key things that I see happening inside of marketing today, and why your marketing may not be converting and getting you into conversations with clients. So I wanted to leave you with those tips today. If you guys have any questions, we have the Habit-Based Lifestyle and Business show on Friday, where we're going to talk about lifestyle. We're going to be talking about breakthrough this Friday. So it's going to be a little bit different episode. So guys, we will see you on Friday. Have a great Wednesday.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse